Oh man, the music gone. Hallelujah. All right, y'all. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to our special edition of Victory Talk. I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight. It has just been a busy weekend, but God sent you fit to just bring us here once again, and so I am excited. My co-host Key, where you at? Key, where you at?
Hey, everybody. Good evening, y'all.
Hey, girl. Of our people. So listen, I know that this is a special edition of Victory Talk, but come on, y'all, get y'all phones, get your ink pens, text somebody, tweet somebody, call somebody, email somebody. Y'all know how we do. Tell them
Right.
Victory Talk is on, and we are about to have a awesome experience. We have the new author in the house, and so we are going to introduce him to some and present to others in just a few minutes. But I want to give you guys an opportunity. Come on, y'all. Text, tweet, call. Check out our YouTube page. Go to our church's website. Come on, tell somebody. We want everybody to get in on this experience on this special edition of Victory Talk. My little sister Key, she got her little background up. It's looking so good. I'm so enjoying it. I love it. I love it. And then Russell has his background up for his book cover. Ooh, it almost looked like his little book cover giving me the stank eye.
You see that, right? I didn't want to say anything about it, but
You ain't want
I gotta talk to him about that later. Yeah, we got to talk about that later.
So let's go ahead and real quick. So I guess I'm gonna let Key read the bio. Key, you wanna read his bio? Nope, I got it. I got it up already, Key.
Okay.
I got it up. Russell Maddox Brereton Jr. was born in the Bronx of New York and raised in Harlem until he was 9. He then moved to Amityville in Long Island, and he graduated from Russell, huh? Copiague High School, where he played football and basketball. He left the school being the top basketball scorer in his history. He graduated from Suffolk County Community College with an associate's degree in accounting while winning a basketball national championship. He then extended his education at SUNY of Old Westbury, where he earned his bachelor's degree in sociology. He's a certified personal trainer. He's a nutrition specialist and a life coach. He's also the CEO of Bridging the Gaps LLC and founder of a certified 501c3 nonprofit organization named We Got You Inc. He is married to the love of his life, Tequila Braverton, and he is a father to Dia, Cassius, and Joshua. He is an author, a motivator, and an inspiring and a inspirer and a man of God. So I present to some and introduce to others our new author, Russell Maddox Brereton Jr. Woo! Welcome. So Russell, I know I read your bio, but tell us about Russell.
Russell is hard-nosed, fair but firm. Russell like to have a great time, but also Russell don't like dealing with unnecessary entertainment. Let me say that. And Russell's about helping. Russell want to get out here and actually, I want people to feel how I feel, have a certain type of peace. It takes work, but that's who Russell is. And however I need to do it to reach people, I'm willing to do.
All right.
Nah, everybody else can figure out that more in my other books that come out.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much. I gotta leave
Keep it,
people. I gotta leave
keeping
people
it
in
short,
suspense.
sweet, and to the point. All right, we got you. We got you, bro. So in the beginning of your book, I was reading, about your different travels that you had going on. It looked like you had visited Texas and Kansas. So tell us a little bit about, the different roads that you traveled to get you to the point where you are now.
Well, well, it started off with basketball. Like at the end of the day, I was following my dream. Of course, going to the NBA. Most people that go to the NBA usually they go Division 1. So I just that's what I had my mind set on, you know. And and it's funny because you think and God is trying to go get you to go this way, but you still want to go that way. So my plan and God plan, it was aligning, but it wasn't aligning at the time. So I had to go through stuff and going and traveling stuff. It took me out of my comfort zone. And even in Kansas, I realized that how much humility it gave me because I was in a town where we had a sheriff and a deputy. We had to travel 30 minutes to go to the mall and the movies. You understand? So basically, the only thing that was in town pretty much was the school. So that taught me, and especially coming from New York, coming there, it was a crazy adjustment, but it was something that I needed. It's something I cherish to this day. Because once I thought, if I could live there, I could live anywhere. And that's what pretty much I took from all my travels. I'm a sponge. I like learning because I'm about understanding. So
Okay, so and you just kind of like ventured out there on your own. You didn't have like the homesick thing going on or anything. You just went for it, huh?
I just went for it. And I think it's more because I had the mother that I had. But I just went for it. It was something that I felt I wanted to do. And I just went. I ain't
That's
know anybody.
awesome.
I ain't know anybody, nothing. I ain't know anybody. And I never questioned it. I just wanted to leave. Because let me take you back. I played AAU when I was younger. So playing AAU, it opened up my horizon. Shout out to my coach John DePass, who the one who really put me on this path. So once he started taking us places outside of New York, and I saw what was out there,
Yeah.
oh man, I was intrigued, like I was yearning for, like I need that. So that's really pretty much what sparked it. And then after that, I just started going.
Okay, okay. You're a brave soul because I don't know, a whole lot of people that would just be able to get up and go like that. But it's definitely
See,
an
I was
awesome
naive.
experience.
The good thing about it is that I was naive and I didn't know. Because if I
Okay.
knew certain things, I probably wouldn't have went.
Okay.
I would have talked myself out of it. I was naive. So good thing I was naive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When
Those
they talk
things that
about
we learned
ignorance,
growing up,
when
definitely.
they talk about ignorance is bliss, yes, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you. So tell us a little bit. We're going to get to the book in just a little bit, but tell us a little bit about Bridging the Gaps and We Got You Incorporated.
Well, bridging the gaps, that's something that I came up with because I realized that there's a lot of division going on in the world. And even though a lot of people want to use our differences, me actually playing basketball and playing team sport, it was our differences that really helped us win. So I saw a lot of people, especially even with social media or whatever, I saw a lot of people focusing on the differences in a certain type of way. The differences is good. You're supposed to be different. And that's when I came up with Bridging the Gaps. And that's why when you see me, I do a lot of different things so I can relate to a different audience, just to let people understand, listen, we have similarities, just don't focus on the differences. But if we do focus on the differences, let's focus on the differences to how it can help us get better as a whole. Because no matter what, we all got to live in this world. We could try to turn the other way or whatever the case is. So just because it don't come at us directly, eventually it's gonna get to us indirectly. And usually when it comes to us indirectly, we don't see it.
Right.
So that's the whole thing about bridging the gaps. And then with the nonprofit organization, We Got You, I just know, like, if it wasn't for me playing basketball and me having the talent, I wouldn't have the certain type of privileges that I have. Like, I was blessed. You know what I mean? People put me on a pedestal. So We Got You is really about the kids that's smart as crap. You know what I mean? They got so many other talents, but because them talents not praised, they wind up going to something that's praised that's not about them. You know what I mean? And I got friends that fell victim to that. So the organization is pretty much for them kids. Like, it's okay. Like, We Got You, we want people to understand, listen, it's okay to be married. It's okay to serve God. It's cool. It's cool to be smart. Because at the end of the day, you go do all of this just to realize that's what matters anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well learn it now. And that's what I'm here. We got you here to teach people that. Even though our target audience is the young, it's for everybody still.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. That's good stuff. All right, Jack, you there? Yeah.
It's so exciting. Before we get into the pages of the book, let's talk about the cover. Let's talk about the cover, because Key and I, we were talking about the cover, and the first thing she said to me is that was so dope. So we wonder where the inspiration for the cover came from.
First of all, I'm glad y'all asked that question. It's this young, amazing lady. First of all, just off her name, I already knew what it is. What's your friend name? Tanel? No. Tanel. My wife's friend Tanel's daughter, Araz Washington. How old is Araz? 18, 19? 18, 19. And when I was talking to this young lady, she was just so passionate. And you got to realize this was one conversation. And I just broke down to her about my book or whatever. And I let her know that I would like for her to pretty much to do the cover. And before I could even finish, she already had a picture in her head. She already had it already. And then she was like, okay, I'm gonna get right back to you. And I was like, I don't have to say anything else. Like, and then when she sent it to me, I was like, wow, yo, okay. So I'd definitely like to give a shout out to the young lady, Araz Washington. This lady is gonna do amazing things. She's so passionate about what she do. And it's just like, and that's why, and that's a part of bridging the gaps too. There's certain things I want the young people to be a part of. Like even my Bridging the Gaps logo, that comes from my young bro, Kayshawn. Dayshawn. You know, he did that. So it's about getting them involved, right? Because their energy is amazing. And believe me, I'd rather them take the energy part so I could think. So that's how that cover came about. I gotta give all the praises to Araz Washington.
A good job. We really found it to be intriguing, and it was captivating. So it really draws you in to make you interested in what's inside of the book. So with that said, let's go inside of the book. So what was your motivation behind this book?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I always wanted to do it. I always wanted to put it out. You gotta realize, like, I joke with people all the time. You know the the scene in the Five Heartbeats when he at the house and he's singing with his little sister. I had stuff everywhere, jot down everything, and this is on top of the poems that I already wrote. And then what happened was I was working on my other book. Shout out to Angie, my homegirl Angie Billinger. I hope I ain't mess your name up. Angie Bell. And I wound up sending her something, a video that I did on YouTube. I wanted to send that to her. Now, I always will let her know about the book that was rated. And she hit me. She was like, bruh, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but she was like, what you should do is, she didn't even know that I already had inspirations of writing a poem book. And this is how God worked. She was like, what you should do is, she was like, you should do a poem book. Do a poem book. She was like, the reason why you should do the poem book, she was like, because the poem book is short, it's a quick read, it could be an introduction to your book. And then when she said that, I thought about it. And then after that, it was a no-brainer. And it helped me so much because I had to get all this stuff together. So as I'm getting all this stuff together, you know, I'm reading it and stuff is making sense to me days. I'm answering my whys that I had back then, just organizing everything. And it was, I'm telling you, it's because she actually put that out there. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go with it. And so shout out, Angie. Appreciate you, sister.
Wow, that's really amazing. So I have to tell you, and so from our previous conversations, and you know, because we've been talking and communicating a lot, but at no point did you say to me, sis, it's a book of poems. And so when I started reading, I'm like, this is a book of poems. So it was really interesting to realize, and so it kind of gave me a whole different look, a whole different outlook on you.
Mhm.
Like I would never have imagined Big Russ, the poet.
Right, right.
Right. And so it really, gave a different, perspective of you. So that was really, 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 really interesting.
What that
So,
stems from is because I'm a hip hop head. I'm a hip hop head, and I like the wordplay. I like the wordplay because it's one thing to say something, but it's another thing to say it in rhyme. So it was like kind of like a challenge. So I was like, you know what? I never wrote poetry up until that point. And then I was like, I'm gonna try it. And I just started doing it. I don't know. It just happened. It's the God in me. Let me say that because
and I don't know much about hip hop. I'm not a hip hop head, but from what I think I know about hip hop, and from listening to our son, because we have a son that's in the music industry,
right.
and just hearing his stuff, hip hop does sound poetic.
Yes.
It
Yes.
does, and when it's rhyming and it's flowing, and so
Right.
yeah, I can see it now. I can definitely see that. Is that what you got from it, Key?
Yeah, and while we're on the subject of talking about metaphors, it's funny that you brought that up. So before I get to my next question, there's actually two different pieces in the book that with these metaphors that just jumped out at me. So the first one was holding back their thoughts and feelings like two people, like the Geminis in May. And then another that said, and they are not a foot long sub, but in this world, they are the true heroes. Dope, 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 dope. So like the metaphors was just, I mean, it just crazy thick, like throughout, the different stuff that I was reading. I'm like, look
That's
at him.
that's hip hop. It's through analogies, and that's how I realized that's how you relate to people because people you can relate to people through your life, but then they only gonna see it that way. But when you use analogies, you pretty much taking yourself out of yourself. You understand? So people could get a better understanding through analogies instead of me just giving an example of myself. So you give an example of something else.
Definitely. And you definitely want to be able, to relate to your audience. So yeah, I like that.
Right. Thank you. It's about relating. That's what it's about. It's about relating.
Absolutely. All right. So the next.
That's how Jesus did it. Thank you.
I like that. Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
That's exactly how he did it. But he had to be willing. He had to be willing.
All right now.
Myself.
So the next thing that I had was, there was a quote that said, "My personality is going to get me through life, not my talent." And that really stood out to me, because I think a lot of people rely on, whatever talent it is that they have, whether it's sports, acting, business, whatever it is that they do to carry them through. So what did this quote, when you said it, what does that really mean to you? Like, what were you trying to get across when you said that?
But the one thing I learned, I worked at this job and I was traveling and I was going door to door selling magazines. Magazines, not even selling the magazine, just selling the subscriptions. If anybody that's crazy. Who really want to buy subscriptions in magazines? But what I realized, if you could sell yourself, you could sell your talent, you could sell your gift. But it starts with you as a person, because that's the thing that's going to keep you grounded. Because everybody's going to praise your gift. Everybody's going to praise your gift. You understand? But really, to your personality, that's the thing that'll keep you grounded. You know what I mean? And that's who God works through. He just allow you, he give you the ability to manifest your gifts so you could bring people into your personality. So that's where I actually got that from, because you couldn't tell me. You could tell me about my gifts and this, that, and third. How dare you, sir? That's probably why, but that's probably why I don't remember. I forgot the person that actually said it to me.
So we have a question for you. Someone is asking, how long did it take you to complete your book?
15 years. 15 years. As far as when you think about the whole project going into it, 15 years. Now, when I really jumped on it, you got to realize I had a lot of stuff written down already. So when I jumped on it, it took me about 2 months when I really jumped on it. But it goes way back 20 years ago, because that's where it all started. It goes back 20 years. So that's
Let,
that's God's timing. So you gotta ask God.
let me ask you this. Was this writing experience therapeutic for you?
Oh my God. Oh my God. It was awesome. I was able to put things in perspective. I was able to organize my priorities. I was able to see what was for me. I was able to see how I was putting stuff on other people. Man, it was, listen, it was one of the best therapeutic sessions I probably ever had in my life.
And you weren't paying somebody for it.
I wasn't paying anybody for it. Because I tell you,
we,
the therapy that I needed, you best believe I would have came out the pocket. To be honest with you, there's a lot up in here right here.
I think that goes for all of us. Listen, we want to hear from some folks that you brought with you today. So first, while you getting some of the other folks together, I want to talk to Tequila. So can you bring her on? And for those, well, we'll let her introduce herself and share. So yeah, come on in here, Tequila, and then you can Russell. You come on back with your other folks. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hello. I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. So, sis, introduce yourself to our audience, our guests.
I am Tequila Braverton. Um, I am the wife, of course, of Russell. And I mean, I just do my own thing, I guess.
And how long have you guys been married?
Oh, shoot, we've been married now for almost 5 years, but we've been together for about almost 10. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Tequila, as I was reading the book, I got the impression that you were the inspiration in many of the chapters. So, what do you think about Russell's book?
I loved it. A lot of his poems I've never read before, so it was a lot of new things in there for me. I've read a few that I was able to sneak and see and look at, but it's actually only that I know of, one poem in there that's actually completely about me. But the rest of them is mostly about other experiences and things from what I can read. But it was very interesting to see a different side of my husband from way before I met him. So it was exciting. I read it from beginning to end. I couldn't stop.
Look at her tooting his horn. So did you see many changes in Russell as he was going through this writing process?
Yes, a lot of changes, a lot of, I guess, from him remembering his past and some things that he had thought about in a long time. And it also helped him to, like you said, get organized with a lot of stuff. And, it's been a lot of talking. Like I've been, honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I've been late at night after work, him talking about things. I'm like, okay, wait, trying to get moving. And listen to what he had to say because I know it's important to him, but at the time I was a little tired. But it just brought out a lot of expressions, and I could see the passion that he had for what he was doing. So I was excited for him. It was great for me because so many years he had projects that he wanted to do, but he really never finished it. So it kind of bothered me that it wasn't nothing that really got to him to push him to complete anything. So to see him go through this and complete it, it was a great thing for me. Yes, yes.
So his let me ask you this: his being able to finally complete it and to get through it and to grow through some things, because I can see some growth in the progression of the book. So do you think that it will encourage you to do something similar?
Writing a book, no, but as far as completing things and moving on and getting my dream out there, yes, definitely. Like for me, it's just more of, I guess, being a mother is me wanting to get my kids out there and make sure that they're good, and then make sure as a wife, make sure he's good. At the same time, I have my little things that's going on in the background and I'm building, but now I feel like I can go ahead and jump to my bigger dream, because everybody knows I love kids. So, my dream is to have a 24-hour daycare center. So one day I will have my 24-hour daycare center. So yes, this will push me towards that faster.
Right now, God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. Well, we thank you for coming and chatting with us real quick. And so before we go, and I see we have another guest. Uncle Fester has popped in the house. So Uncle Fester, you kind of like fading in and out.
Get out. And y'all enjoy to Uncle Fester.
Okay. So we see that Russell's Uncle Fester has now joined us. So Uncle Fester, how you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
How am I doing? Well, I'm doing really well. But you kind of like breaking up. So can you speak up for me?
I'm gonna try. I don't like to raise my voice though. It make me seem uncool.
You gotta be cool. Okay, Uncle Fester. So Uncle Fester, can you tell us what you think about Russell and his book?
Yo, listen, I'm proud of nephew. Nephew, even out the odds. He still owe me, but you know what? I'm not even gonna say anything about that. But I'm proud of nephew. You know what I mean? He doing his thing. He wrote a book. Like I was telling him, I wrote a book too. I ain't getting none of the publicity that he got. And frankly, to be honest, I don't appreciate it. But we'll talk more about that with the camera.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so, did you get to read the book? Is there a favorite few verses that's in the book? Is there a favorite chapter or poem?
If I would say anything, I would say the poem "Me versus Myself." So you know my memory is a little crazy, so I'm gonna have to read it for you. And I appreciate you. Me versus myself. For a long time now, I've been going back and forth with this guy, both striking each other like light in the sky. How can we be the same but be so different? It's like having the same apartment but paying different rent. Life is crazy and many things are tossed in our path. He's on one side of the equation and I'm on the other, like math. He is hard to defeat because he knows everything I'm thinking. Before I do this, before I do that, he's looking at me without even blinking. I cry for help and he intercepts my cries. I try to think it out and my brain begins to fry. What am I to do with him always breathing down my back? Should I give up and let him win like that? Nah, not me. I can't see that happening. Face him straight up, toe to toe, so he could see who's slacking. Focusing a little more. I know what I have to do. A little more determination, persistence, and most of all, staying true. Hey, don't be cutting me off like that. I wasn't done. Nah, you go ahead.
Okay, well, I thank you. I just went because you were reading that with such passion. I wanted to see, what did that mean to you?
It meant to me that he stole it from me and he owned me 5% of the sales. That's what that means.
Okay, Uncle Fester. Well, I think that if you helped him with that, I think that was very good, and I think you just gonna have to talk to him about that. So we are going to go to our commercial break, and if you don't mind, if we can have Russell back, because I want to talk to him and ask him about your 5%. Okay.
Listen, Victory Talk Group, y'all owe me money too. I don't do anything for free. You can't pay for this knowledge that I'm giving people. So yeah, I have to get off because y'all not paying me nothing. I don't appreciate it.
Fester. Well, we appreciate you spending your time with us.
Peace out.
All right, everybody. So, well, yes, Tequila. Uncle Fester made me a little nervous. So, listen, everybody, we're going to share with you real quick where you can get your copy of this book. We want you to go to www.blfministries.org to our online bookstore, and you can get your copy of this book. And I'm telling you, you want to get the copy of this book, and because you're not going to be able to put it down. And so if you're reading it from the perspective of Uncle Fester's viewpoint, you're going to be tickled pink. You're going to be tickled pink. So if Russell can come on back, because we got to talk about that passage.
Boo, they waiting for you.
Me versus myself. Key, what did you think about me versus myself?
Oh man, me versus myself. It's funny that he actually picked that to read because that is one of the ones, that I had jotted down to ask questions about that. I just feel like I wanted to know what the meaning was behind me versus myself, because what I got from it is that, how a lot of times we can be our own worst enemy. We could be our greatest competition. We could be our biggest critics. So, you know, I wanted to know, like, what inspired you to write Me versus Myself, and what headspace were you in? Like, what were you thinking when you wrote that piece?
You know what? When I wrote that, before I started writing that, this when I was actually getting into really writing, and I was like, oh snap, you got something going on here. So when I wrote Me versus Myself, that's when I really start really understanding the definition of accountability. You understand? Because a lot of times what we do is we see a life that we want, but we don't really look at we look at the pros to get it, but we don't look at the cons to get it. And it's a lot that actually goes into that people really don't take into account. And Me versus Myself, that was me pretty much looking in the mirror. I was looking in that mirror at myself. I was in the place of my life and I was just looking at my mirror. I was just looking at the mirror like, what you gonna do now? I already know you have this. And that's when I really start getting understanding of myself. And like I said, I wrote that was when I probably wrote that poem when I was like 21, 22. But that's when I just knew it was something. It was something, and I couldn't, and no matter what, even to this day, a couple of months ago, I had to shake it. But I knew then that, yeah, this is something, and no matter whether you want to or not, you're gonna have to do it. But in order to do it, you got to be able to face yourself. So that's where that inspiration came from, because a lot of people deal with that. All of us do. All of us. You know what I mean? So I believe everybody can relate to that poem.
22. At 22, I'm sure your mindset was a little bit different than what it is right now. I'm not going to tell everybody your age, but so, right. So, and writing it in today, and so it's 2021. So you got this written back in 2020. How did in writing Me versus Myself? How did it differ from when you were 22 to whatever your age is now?
I ain't afraid to say it. I'm 41 now. I'm a blessed 41 now. So I wanted to say that was about 20 years ago. But I think the difference is now, before Me versus Myself pretty much was just about me. I ain't have any attachments. Now I'm a family man. So it's more like me versus everything else, my wife, my kids, even going into the ministry that I'm going into, where we got you, and even the business side, we're bridging the gaps. All that comes into Me versus Myself. Now, what I had to distinguish was what goes into me and what goes into myself. Because I believe everything, like I said, when it's pros, it's cons. That's why I say everything is a gift and a curse. I just learned how to use my curse to assist my gift. So that's the difference between me now and back then.
Makes sense. Could you tell us what your favorite piece I know it's probably hard to narrow it down to one, but could you tell us one of your favorite pieces that you've written that's in this book, or maybe even two if you can't narrow it down to one?
You know what? I got one, and I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but it was good to me because the time and what was going on within my life. And it's called Fight is Fight. And it's pretty much a tribute to Chad Boseman, who is the Black Panther. You understand? And that's what really inspired it. And he inspired me because a lot of people don't know he'd been dealing with cancer since 2016. So he made Black Panther in every movie after that while he was going through what he was going through. And nobody ever knew anything. So that right there. So and I actually put this one on my YouTube page because I do the videos. I edit the videos and all of that. So I actually did a video to this one. Like I said, with my book, because I got so much on my mind. That's just my book. Why would y'all talk to that man anyway? Yes.
He took your book?
And Uncle Fester said you owe him some money because he wrote this book.
Man.
Huh?
He always trying to get something out of somebody.
We're talking about Uncle Fester because we realize that Uncle Fester is a character. Is Uncle Fester a character within one of your stories?
No. And I think that's why he's a little mad.
You're going to have to give him his cut because I think he said 5%.
Jeez.
Yeah, he was a little upset.
Yeah, he was. Listen, I have no idea what I go through.
He had much attitude. And so let me ask you this, because I know you have another guest that you want to bring on. But before you go and get that other guest while we go to our commercial, but I want to ask you, are you going to do a sequel to this book?
It all depends on the demand. Because I have stuff already. I really do. Because you gotta realize it's still, even though I'm putting this out, it's still therapeutic to me. So and now going forward, I'm about to start doing videos for people. So now, to answer your question, yes, but it's gonna be different because it's gonna be more about other people than me. This was mainly about me. My next, the sequel is gonna be about other people. And stuff I'm going to be doing for them. So, yeah. Pretty much collaboration.
You said Bridging the Gap collaboration?
That's what it's about. Listen, you're going to be amazed. Listen, I'm going to do something on Victory Talk. On you. Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Saying that they want to get the book. So I'm going to go to commercial break. And while I'm going to commercial break, you bring on your other guests and we'll talk about that Victory Talk piece a little later. Yes. Okay, everybody. So let's run to commercial real quick because I want this to be up because I want you to know where you can get your copy of this book. If you visit our website, blfministries.org, we have a new bookstore, and the bookstore was just launched. We want you to go to our bookstore, and you can get a copy of Russell's book from there. There are also other books there, but we really want you to get a copy of this book. And so I can't even. He's sharing just bits and pieces of it, but me and Key been going through it, and you heard the testimonial from his wife. And let me tell you, sister ain't gonna say it's good just because it's her husband, right? Because no, she gonna be real honest. So if it wasn't good, she'd have been like, it's all right. So I have learned her ways. So I want you just to go on by our website, and our producer is going to put that back up one more time while we are waiting for our next guest to come on. And so there you go. And you can learn a little bit about Russell just from that flyer there. Expressing myself through words. This has been a journey for him. And I'm so proud of my little brother. I mean, I'm just absolutely so proud of him. And so this has been a journey for him. But he's not just doing writing. He's, working in his community. He's helping with his children. He's just being a motivator. And it's not just in his words, but he's also being a motivator in his actions. He's been a motivator in his actions. So we're looking forward to him coming back. But so Tequila, while we're waiting on our next guest, tell me, so have you, encountered, oh snap. Okay. So some of these characters, some of the characters, okay, so we're losing, is that Judge good for nothing?
Yeah. Judge good for nothing. Make sure you see the whole thing. Don't split it up. Judge good for nothing. Gotta say.
Tell us what you think about Russell's book.
It's all right. It's all right. Like, I don't know what you want. What more do you want me to say? Like, at the end of the day, he really think he doing something. Man, I've been to that. I've been trying to tell him that already. Come on now. We ain't doing this anymore.
What's that now?
We're not doing this anymore.
Something to him, so your opinion matters in some way. So what's the positive that you found about his book? Okay, so you're not quite sure. Let me ask you this. Do you think that his book is inspirational and helpful to our younger generation of people, our children, our young folks? Is it a book that will help keep some of the youth out of your courtroom?
Yes, I do, but only if my name is on it. If my name not on it, really? Like, come on now.
Well, I don't think it's just about your notoriety, but I think that it was more meant to help others and to help others to get to know themselves and not just looking at just the picture or the reflection in the mirror.
Listen, I'm the only mirror that people need to see.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
All right. Well,
it was all right.
It was all right.
It was all right.
All right. Well, Judge Good for Nothing. It's nice to see that you do live up to your name. It's nice to see you do live up to your name. And so, with that said, we're gonna let you go because I'm not sure quite how helpful you have been, but we appreciate the opportunity to get to meet you.
First of all, I've been helpful just by showing my face.
You are absolutely right.
Young lady, I want you to get that correct.
Thank you for calling me a young lady. I appreciate that.
See now,
and your hair looks nice. I just want to tell you, your hair looks nice. I like the little curl thing you got going on over there.
Well, see, since this is about me, I can tell you everything about, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Now you barking up the right tree.
Got him started.
Now you barking up the right tree. Because this is about me. I'm sorry.
Well, does Russell owe you money also for the book?
Nah, I got to pay him some money.
Oh, okay. I thought you was gonna read us a little. I thought you was gonna give us a little something.
Why would you put that out there knowing that I owe this man some money?
I ain't know nothing about your personal business. I was just referring to a comment from another guest. My bad.
So, Judge Good for Nothing, we got about 5 minutes left in the show, but so can we just get a snippet from you of something that you like in the book?
Well, I do like the fight is fight. Where he's talking about Chad Boseman.
Okay.
You did, because I had the other one in here. No, you know what? I'm gonna switch it up. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
My whole life been one step forward and 2 steps back because complete focus and God was what I lacked. We all at some point lose concentration and putting him first, making what we are great at become our gift in our curse, searching for the material God instead of the spiritual one, missing the real blessings that he shoots at us with his gun. Many things in this world stray us away from really what matters, showing us things that we could climb without a ladder, only to find ourselves falling without anything to fall on, watching the moon or night and never seeing the sun come up at dawn, seeking pleasures and desires through money and other physical things, forgetting who's on the throne and who really is the king. All right. You ain't gonna be.
Well, I thank you, Judge Good for Nothing. I appreciate you so much. And so with that, yes, awesome. So and we're gonna hear back from Russell before we close out. But Judge Good for Nothing was I'm not sure what he was good for. I mean, he did have a nice little hairdo, his little hair flip or whatever. But yeah.
His hair, we don't want to hear about it.
I think Russell one had to change who he the folks he hang around with. Let's say that the folks he hang around with. But I do want to say that I feel like the book will be helpful. It's been very interesting to read, and I think it's going to be helpful for a lot of people to help them see themselves in a different light, in a very different light. Well, Russell, as I was sharing with Tequila, you need to change the folks you hanging out with. Because Judge Good for Nothing was, I don't want to say he was good for nothing, but he was good for nothing.
Hey, listen, I look at it like this. I look at it like this. At the end of the day, whoever God put in your life, they're supposed to be there. It's up to us to filter. So I take what I take for him that's going to benefit me. Everything else, I just let Judge Good for Nothing be Judge Good for Nothing. Because he do got knowledge. He knows stuff. He knows certain things that I don't know. So I'm not going to neglect him. Because he knows stuff that I don't know. So it's about filtering. You got to filter.
Yes, you definitely got to filter him. And Uncle Fester too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that sucks. That's blood.
That's blood. That is blood. So before we go, because we're at the top of the hour, but before we go, what advice would you give on being a self-publisher?
Just believe in yourself. Like, I believe that all of us is programmed a certain type of way. And a lot of times why people can't go forward because they don't know how they program. Because once you know how you program, then you could know how you need to do so you could reprogram yourself. So even being and first of all, you got to know why you're doing it. You got to know why you're doing it. So I would give the advice I would give, just be true to yourself and write about your passion. It's gonna leave a lot of the writer's block out the way, and write for yourself first before you start writing for others. Because that's the real definition of self. You gotta write for yourself. This I wrote for myself. Like I said, I wasn't planning to put this out when I started writing. I just felt that it could help others. But that's the advice I would give. Just be to yourself. Just look back on your life. You will realize when you look back on your life, it's a lot of things that's always been constant. And them the things that's what you write on. You know what I mean? You just know who you are before you even decide. Know who you are even before you start writing. Just know who you are, and I guarantee you, everything will come to you.
All right. All right there. So write for yourself. Yes. Key, did you have something before we close out?
I did. Before we close out, towards the end of the book, you had personal quotes. And I thought that a lot of these were quite interesting, but there was one or two that I wanted to ask you about specifically because I wasn't quite sure what you meant in those. So the first one, well, actually, I'll just go with one because we're running low on time. When you quoted and said, "Catch me, don't pick me up," what did you mean by that quote?
Oh, I actually got this quote with my wife because
Oh, so this is perfect. This could be a
right,
twofer.
yeah, it actually right. So what I meant by that was I don't want you, it's okay that you pick me up, but I want you to work on so you can watch me, so you can catch me. Because even when you pick me up, the damage is already done. But if you catch me and you're able to push me up, now I got that comfortability and it's not any wear and tear. So it's funny that you asked that because, right, you see, but that's the reason why
Wow.
I'm able to do because she catch me and I'm full. So that's actually wow. Thanks,
I
sis.
love it. I love you see how God works things together.
Yeah, for real.
That's
But
awesome. I love it.
that's where that came from. It came from my wife. And I just want to say this one thing. I got to give a shout out to the young lady also who inspired us, Amaya Gross. This is the young lady, the little girl that I spoke about pretty much in the intro. You know what I mean? She was 7 months old to the point when me and this young lady connected crazy. And to the point where people thought I was a father. She wouldn't go to anybody else. So I definitely got to give her. And now she's grown to an amazing woman and she's doing excellent things right now. And also I got to give a shout out to Melissa Williams, Missy, who also she pretty much edit the intro and the outro. Yeah. And plus everybody else, through my experiences, me learning, I appreciate y'all for even giving me this platform. Like, let's make it happen.
Wow. Well, thank you, Russell, because you kind of like closed us out before I even gave you the cue to close us out. So this has been a very, very interesting, entertaining, as Miss Victoria said, entertaining. I know that it was a different type of a book launch, but it was good, and it's very I guess descriptive, or of you, Russell.
Yes.
You are truly a different type of author, and I appreciate your gift.
Thank you.
I appreciate your gift. So as we are about to close out, Key, I don't want to cut you off. Are you good, sis? You got anything else you want to say or share? Any other questions you want to throw out there?
I'm good. I just want to.
What was the other one you was talking about? Go ahead and throw that one out there.
Oh, the other quote.
Real fast.
One second. Look, you done caught me off guard. Now I got my papers all
You
mixed
said
up.
you had two.
Well, I had quite a few written down, but let me give you the other one that I was looking at. My sense of urgency has patience.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you where that came from. That's from me bridging the gaps from the north to the south. What the South taught me, it taught me a little more patience. Up north is more of a sense of urgency. But what made me different was because I had the sense of urgency, but I was patient. So I didn't have to just jump off because my sense of urgency is through my training. So just like that, I had to have it, but I had to learn to appreciate that through my patience. And that's what I mean. That's why I tell people people think we got more time than we think we have. A lot of times we spend time on stuff that's not necessary. It makes it seem like we have less time. It's a reason why God only gave us 24 hours in a day. We should be able to do everything we have to do within the 24 hours a day. So that's where that comes from. My sense of urgency, right. I forgot to quote myself, but yeah, thank you. All right, now close out.
Awesome.
Key, you hit on some of the things where I knew people wouldn't get, but I'm glad you got understanding of it. So now I was able to explain it so you could have understanding of it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're quite welcome. And we just thank you again, for joining us. This has been fun. We laughed, we learned. Jackie and I, we have the book and we've been looking it over. I can't wait to get back to it. I know the same for her. It's just been amazing. We're so incredibly proud of you, and we're so looking forward to, what the future holds for you and your wife both in your ministry. This has just been a wonderful show. Everybody, don't forget to go to www.vlfministries.org, to our online bookstore, and purchase the book. If you have not done it while we've been online, live on the air, as soon as we hang up, as soon as we get off, get you a copy of the book and make sure that you share it with everybody that you know. You will not be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed.
Thank you again for joining us this evening. Our host, Lady J, and myself, we just say thank you again for joining us. Everybody tuning in for Victory Talk. We will see you again next Friday evening. And until then, everybody be safe and be blessed.